let me move on to Jirut in Thailand. Um, please do share with us, what made you start Sprint, and then a little bit more about your role within the Sprint Accelerator. So Jirut, over to you.
First of all, I think I have to thank TJ and team again for really invite me here to join this beautiful channels and let me speak and maybe inspire some of the current entrepreneur who would like to expand themselves to beyond border of your own original. Myself, actually wear two hats. One is a corporate side, so I work for the corporate, looking out for a new startup. And at the nighttime, I wear startup side. So I with my colleague who met in another lot of startup event, and we identified that in Thailand 5 years ago, there's still a gap for a startup actually from research background. So researcher who want to commercialize their product is finding it hard for them to get into the market. So we get the both academic and also a few corporate and try to say, hey, let's build ecosystem for and make it available for those type of people who maybe not fit well with the other types of accelerator that focusing on the software or app development that they speak differently on different language and then move in a different pace of product development. So we start on that, and at the beginning we didn't think we're gonna be borderless accelerator, because we thought with the 4 or 5 people maybe we just focus with Thai researcher, Thai startup. But once we start, we actually learn by ourselves that entrepreneurs themselves are actually borderless by nature. So I see none of them thinking just with their own little space. They want to expand and want to solve a much bigger picture. So I think I see it's kind of like a driving force for all entrepreneurs in their nature, try to go much beyond their starting point. We have seen a kind of interesting case that we got a startup that applied to join our program from Russia, which we didn't advertise, or we didn't have any kind of network working in Russia, because it's far away from what we can original thought. And then we just say, hey, why not we try to accept them if they want to be in part. So that may be interest. So we have them, and then at the end we're able to help connect them to do some business locally in not in Bangkok but in tourist place in Pattaya, which is a nice case. And we have seen this thing already been borderless since before the pandemic. So after the pandemic, what I can see and project is going to be much, I would say, easier and quicker and more efficient for those entrepreneurs to mobilize themselves, as Hewan said, finding the team or be localized in somewhere that you never thought that you're gonna operate the business than original from your business model canvas. So I see it's coming, even for the company, the startup that we normally facing, which is a deep tech, which is normally you need something physical. For us, I still see it still be mixed in terms of both physical and digital. But digital would help those kind of a company to expand beyond their expectation from the first phase. I left that for now, and then we can carry on in the Q&A.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Jirut. Yeah. Jirut, back to you in Thailand. How do you see similar question? How do you see borderless entrepreneurship shaping the startup ecosystem in Thailand? Because even within Southeast Asia, country by country, the ecosystem is different, because the culture is different, the people are different. So from your perspective in Thailand, how do you see borderless entrepreneurship shaping the future? Over to you, Jirut.
Yeah, so I think is quite clear. when I look at the ecosystem, as you point, like if different country, they might have different types of character. But the good thing of having borderless, I mean, people can like move or establish their business, and they can come and do some competition freely everywhere they want, right? One of the good thing that shaping, I mean, total economic would be drive into the better standard. That's what I like to put as a pinpoint. Like once you get the new higher standard, I would say it will bring up other types of ecosystem within as well. So I would have seen like for example, back to my accelerator. If I already got Thai, local Thai, joining the program, I would have seen like the character or the way or the energy within the program would be one way. But once we mix with people from different culture, different thought, foreigners from Russia, so people try to catch up each other. Otherwise, they cannot compete within the same ecosystem. So I would say for sure they would bring the economic, they would shape the ecosystem for startup to be the better level. Because I have seen something in the chat, like people start asking about when you have borderless, how you gonna having like a tax, how is labor law, everything has become very different, and each country have such a different types of set of the law. But I think at the end, this will to keep country up into the competition, to attract people to generate the borderless. So everyone have to move, everyone have to set a new rule, everyone have to come up with a new standard that at the end, hopefully it will make the borderless become seamless. So no border at all at the end. Like especially in ASEAN, we try to we try to make the economic zone. We try to do lots of things, but I think this still not a seamless connection. We still have slight barriers in each other country. So hopefully this kind of the movement or this kind of pandemic will create, will lower the barrier and make it seamless connection. All right.
Thank you so much, Jirut. I like what you shared about really it opens the doors for friendly competition, if I may put it that way. You spur each other on to want to really improve, to move up this whole knowledge and capability ladder. And I think, yes, that is one of the things, in terms of going borderless can do and can help the ecosystems in various countries. Thank you so much for that sharing.